Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel called Living in Hayward, Wisconsin, where we talk about all things real estate related and also just about living in Hayward. I'm Audrey Miller. I'm the broker owner of Northwest Wisconsin Realty Team, and today I'm going to take you on a little ride around Round Lake. And I think most people who have been to Hayward or have visited in the past are familiar with Round Lake. Arguably, Round Lake is the #1 lake in the area. I think people from Round Lake would definitely argue that. I don't know about people from maybe 𝐸𝐴𝐻 or Grindstone, but Round Lake is one of the premier lakes in the area for sure. Probably gets the highest prices of any lake in the area by a small margin. And it does have the best water clarity of any of the larger lakes in the area. The readings from the DNR say that in some places, at least on the Round Lake, the water clarity is 29 feet. So in other words, from the surface, you could see down 29 feet, which is really, really incredible. So sandy bottom, crystal clear water, 3,294 acre lake. It is located pretty close to Hayward. That's another benefit of Round Lake. You're only about 15 to 20 minutes east of Hayward. No matter where you are on Round Lake, you can get to it in about 20 minutes or so. And there is good fishing there from what I hear. Smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, and walleye are abundant. And then there's also panfish, muskie, and northern pike in Round Lake. So I hope that you enjoy this. I'd love to hear your stories of Round Lake or time you've spent on Round Lake or that kind of thing. There is also a connection to Little Round Lake under the bridge by Highway B. So that's kind of a little extra spot you can go to on Round Lake. You know, funnily enough, I don't know if funnily is a word, funny enough, Round Lake is actually not as round as Grindstone Lake, but it is overall in a round shape, but it actually has some really cool bays and like interesting little places to boat. So come along with me for the tour. I hope that you enjoy it. And as always, reach out to me anytime if you're interested in buying or selling or just have questions about the Hayward area. I love when I run into people who have been watching my YouTube channel. This just happened to me the other night at the Dock Bar and Restaurant on Round Lake. So shout out to the couple from Moose Lake that I met. I really enjoyed meeting you. Thank you for your feedback about my channel. That made me smile. And if you ever have ideas on a subject you'd like me to talk about, or you just want to touch base with questions or, you know, that kind of thing, I am here to help however I can. And thank you for joining me today. Let's go take a look at Round Lake. So this is a pretty cool feature on Round Lake. There is one public island on the lake, and check this out. There's a really cool beach area here. As you can see, people like to come and pull their boats up there and swim and enjoy that. And there's also a day camp there. So there's like a fire pit area and a picnic table, and you can actually stay the night there as well. So I'll show you that in a second here. So this is, again, the public island, and earlier there were people here, so I didn't get to take a good video of the water. For one thing, look at this sandbar. Absolutely amazing. Beautiful swimming. And then, if you can see in there now, there is a fire pit, a little bench, and there's a privy toilet in there too. I've heard it's pretty disgusting, but you can still use it if you want to. So Round Lake is a full recreational lake. As you can see, people having lots of fun on their jet skis. So there is one public beach on Round Lake. Obviously you can pull up to other, you know, areas where there's public land if there is any, like the island. But this is the public beach that you can get to by road, and kind of cool because you can actually see through here to the other side of the lake from this spot. But look at that beautiful sandy beach. There's some people enjoying it right now. And this is called Hinton Bay. So I'll just give you a little look around here at Hinton Bay. And Round Lake is over 3,000 acres. It is one of the clearest lakes in the area, and
Just a beautiful, beautiful lake. People have been coming here and having second homes and cabins probably since the 1940s maybe. A lot of people are very attached to their memories and their time that they've spent on Round Lake as kids, and now they have a cabin here and their parents did. So on Round Lake we have some of the nicest homes, lake homes that we have in the area. And I'll just give you a glimpse of one that's kind of a standout on Round Lake. This is just a gorgeous, gorgeous home. And you can't even really maybe see how large it is, but absolutely picturesque and beautiful. So if you have multiple millions, this is a good buy for you if it ever comes on the market. And again, you know, I've talked about this before on some of my other videos, but starting price for a lot on Round Lake is probably around $450,000 to $500,000, on upwards to maybe $700,000 to $800,000 for just a vacant lot. And then for a home on Round Lake, you can't really get on this lake for much under about $750,000 to $800,000. Once in a while for $600,000 to $700,000, but the budget if you're wanting to be on Round Lake is probably going to need to be $800,000 up to around $2 million, but a lot of the homes would be between the $1.1 and maybe $1.8 million range. So, but there are lots of buyers who only want to be on Round Lake, either because of their history there or because of the water clarity, the size of the lake. The location is really great in proximity to Hayward as well. So this is kind of out in the middle of the lake, and I don't know if a video will give you any idea of the size, but that's the shore off in the distance. Let me zoom in a minute, just to give you an idea of how expansive this lake is. This is kind of in the biggest part of the lake, and I'm going to just go around in a circle here to give you an idea. So here you can see one of the public boat launches on Round Lake, and you can see someone in action putting their boat in at the boat launch. And on the other side of this is where we saw the beach. So there's the road in between, boat launch on one side, beach on the other. This is kind of an unusual home for northern Wisconsin. Beautiful, but kind of feels a little more like you're in Tuscany. And if the seller of this home is watching this, I'd love to list it for you if you ever decide to sell, but it is an unusual style for the Northwoods. So we have a lot more of half log siding, maybe LP Smart siding that's a brown or a green or a tan color. But you can see some of the beautiful sandy frontage that we have on Round Lake. So this area here is where all of the boats gather on the 4th of July, and there ends up being hundreds of boats out here, and maybe some of my viewers have been here from time to time on the 4th of July. But basically they shoot the fireworks off from Powell's, which is one of the 2 bars and restaurants on the lake. And this area out here is where everybody gathers to watch the fireworks at the 4th of July. It is quite a fun event. So I don't know if some of you may remember, if you've been on Round Lake for a while, but what is now Powell's used to be the old Famous Dave's, and it was the original Famous Dave's barbecue place. And this Grand Pines Resort, where they had all these cabins, they have now become mostly a condo association, and the old building burned down a number of years ago, unfortunately. But now we have beautiful Powell's here, which is a great spot to eat and drink on the lake. And then you can see more of the cabins that belong to the Grand Pines Condo Association. These are great rental cabins. if you want to come and stay on Round Lake for a week and enjoy everything that there is to enjoy of the lake, get to see it, get a feel for it, find out how you like it. Maybe you want to purchase property later. This is one of the good places to stay, and you're really only about 10 minutes from Hayward here. So we're coming up here on Highway B. You might see some traffic go past here in a minute. So we're just, you know, east of Hayward here and at the Round Lake Marina. Most of our lakes up here do not have marinas on them, but Round Lake is one that does, so you can get gas there. Typically other times you'll just get gas at a bar and restaurant on the lake, but Round Lake Marina, they take docks in and out, they do boat rentals. They don't really do slip rentals, but they do boat storage in the wintertime and all of that. And then you'll see as we come around the corner here, the other bar restaurant option on Round Lake, which is the Dock. And the current owner of that is a guy by the name of Butch. He's pretty awesome, runs a really great business, and you'll be able to see the restaurant here. This is obviously right off of Highway B, but it is the Dock. It's had a complete remodel in the last couple of years. It's beautiful inside, and that's a good place to go to get fried chicken, burgers, pizzas, that kind of thing, and have some good drinks on the lake. And then you'll see we're gonna go under the bridge. And even here where there's a little bit of grass, look how clear this water is. Just absolutely beautiful water clarity. And then we'll head into Little Round Lake. So we're on a pontoon, but this is very navigable. It's deep enough. The bridge is high enough. I'm gonna have to get down a little bit here. You can't go through here with your bimini top up, I'll tell you that. But now we are out on the other side to Little Round Lake, which is just a few hundred acres. But since it's navigable to Big Round, it tends to get the same type of prices as you would expect to pay on Big Round Lake. Not as quite as broad of views, depending where you are on the lake, but really great body of water because you have the access to Big Round. So there's a variety of elevations on Round Lake. This is what we would consider high elevation, but you do get amazing views when you're up on the top of a hill like this. But in our classification of the height, anything more than 36 steps is considered high elevation. So that one would definitely be high elevation. Everybody seems to prefer low elevation, but there are pros and cons. That place probably has amazing sunset views, so that's a big plus. So sometimes when there's higher elevation, people have to get a little creative. And one of the things that people do is install these lifts. Now, I heard from a buyer recently that these cost upwards of 50 grand now, but you basically sit in this little lift up at the top, it brings you down, and then you push the lever when you want to go back up. So it is definitely a way to hear the loon. They do fly, they don't just go in the water. I think these folks also have one. This one looks a little bit older, but you can see the trolley tracks here going up to their house, and it makes taking coolers and people up and down much easier, but they are pretty spendy. There's nothing quite like a stand of pines with a lake cottage in the middle of it to make you feel like you're in the Northwoods. Sandy beach, got, if you listen closely, you'd probably hear some loons. Beautiful pine trees, crystal clear water, and after a little while here, I think we'll get to see a sunset. Surprise of seeing some wildlife out here, other than the ducks and loons. So I kind of missed the main part of the sunset over the water, but here is some beautiful colors for you to end the video about the Round Lake Hayward area Premier Lake. Hope you enjoyed the video and got to learn a few things about Round Lake, and if you're interested in buying or selling, or you have any questions about the area, just feel free to reach out to me.